Welcome to the Collecting the Past podcast. Funded by the National Endowment for the Humanities and in partnership with the Flannery O'Connor Institute for the Humanities, this project paired students from Georgia College with community members to collect oral histories from individuals who either lived in Milledgeville during the heart of O'Connor's writing career or whose lives were shaped by events that took place during this period. Our goals with the project are to expand the existing historical narrative of our town by documenting unwritten life stories and creating a public digital archive. As you'll hear, the students had fun creating their own podcasts in the style of their choice. Like our narrators, each episode has its own personality.
I was born in Philadelphia, but I was raised here in Milledgeville from early age, and this is home. After high school, I was a musician. I played professional music from high school until the 80s. So I traveled, and I stopped traveling because my mother got sick, and I came off the road to take care of her. But in the process, prior to that, I came off the road one time and opened up a bar here in Milledgeville on McIntosh Street, and it was called AT Jazz Lounge. So that was one of the businesses on McIntosh Street.
What was it like owning a business?
I'm sorry.
How was your time owning a business? What was it like?
Oh, it was nightclub for entertainment. I'm a musician. I play drums, and so I had a lot of professional musicians that migrated to Milledgeville to be part of what was going on at that time, and so it was. We did a lot of music down on McIntosh Street.
That's great. When was AT's Lounge open and running?
That was in the 70s, like 70. I believe 71 to 75.
That's amazing. Do you remember what stores were next to you, or like what were your neighbor stores?
Yeah, actually, that's what I was trying to do. I tried to get a list of all the businesses that was on McIntosh. So I think I got pretty much all the businesses that was there, starting from Allen Market on down to the end of the block toward Georgia College.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Now, if you like, I could get my wife to, send these, or I can just give you the name of them over the phone, however you want to do it.
That would be amazing if you could tell me what they were.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I got them listed. I think they're pretty much in the order that they was, located. So, I thought maybe that might be a little easier to answer some of the questions for the businesses.
That would be amazing. Thank you.
A couple of the business, it was one AT Jazz Lounge at one time. Before I opened it was a cafe.
Oh, wow.
And so my uncle actually was on that business, and he turned it over to me, and I turned it to actually started out a cafe and lounge, but then it ended up just jazz lounge,
That's amazing. What was your favorite part about AT's Lounge, and what's your favorite memory?
Well, all the musicians that I was able to play with now, because it drew a lot of attention in this area because of a lot of professional musicians that migrated here. And actually, we had on Monday night, we had a Monday night jam session, and
wow,
that drew a lot of the college students. I mean, it was Monday night was the night that it was it maxed out as far as the crowd. Everybody really couldn't get in, so that was something everybody was looking forward to on Monday night, to get that early enough to be able to get in, because it was limited amount, space there. So that went on for about 3 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
But we had music every from Wednesday through Sunday.
Oh, great. That sounds like an amazing community space.
Yeah, that was a season of a lot of excitement.
Mm-hmm. And so after that, you said you went back on tour or on the road?
Yeah, I started back traveling, but then my mother got sick, and then I came off the road and gave up traveling completely.
Oh, wow.
And I've been here ever since. So that was back in, I guess, 79. And actually, it was 78 when I actually stopped traveling. Mm-hmm. She had a crippling arthritis, so someone had to lift her in and out of bed. So she had been so supportive to me all the years of my trying to be a musician to make a living. And so that was the time that she needed me, so I sacrificed all that to be there for her.
Wow, that's amazing. What makes you continue to stay in Milledgeville?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, what makes you continue to stay in Milledgeville after all this time?
Well, if we wanted to narrow it all down, it was God planned for me. Because what happened after she got sick, and she passed in 82. And I met the love of my life in 82. and that changed things. But then, and so we didn't get married right away. It was 85 we got married. And so the decision was to stay in Milledgeville. So that's ultimately that's what it was. But it was God's hand in it, because in 85, my wife got saved. No, I'm sorry, 88. She got saved. And then 5 years later, I got saved. Okay? And
wow,
that changed everything.
That's amazing.
So, and now I'm pastoring the church here in Milledgeville.
Wow, what church?
It's called Milledgeville Christian Center.
That's amazing.
120 Ivy Drive. And so it's been a journey. In fact, still is a journey.
I bet you learn something new every day. I said I bet you learn something new every day.
Well, definitely. That's the heart desire to learn and grow wiser and closer to God. Because he is my life now. So
that's amazing. So with your time owning a business in Milledgeville in the 70s, what would you say like your favorite other business was during that time? Like besides AT's Lounge, what was your favorite to go to or frequent?
Well, actually, I really didn't go anywhere else. You know, being a musician, that pretty much took all of my time.
Definitely.
And so whenever before I started my business, I would always associate with musicians somewhere, even when I wasn't playing. But so as far as any businesses to go to for entertainment, I guess I really didn't ever do that.
Yeah, so, definitely.
I was other than restaurants. Now all the good eating places I went.
What was your favorite restaurant to go to?
Well, during that time, it was very limited restaurants. So, one of my favorite eating places was Hook's Barbecue, which was out in the country off of 22. And so they was famous for pit barbecue, and
Yum.
so I've eaten a bunch of barbecue.
That's great.
And then, other than that, it was just a regular restaurant that was here at that time. Shoney's, Pizza Hut, and things like that. Just very limited name restaurants. And so...
would you mind telling me the names of those stores that were on the same street on McIntosh with you?
Yeah, I got a list of all of them, I think.
Oh, great.
It's about, on one side of the street, it was about 10 different businesses, and on the other side, there's about 4.
Wow.
So I got a list of all of those.
Oh, great.
And when we finish talking, I'll get my wife to text them to you, email them to you.
Perfect. That would be great. Did you have did you notice anything in the community surrounding AT's Lounge or any of the businesses in the area that were positive or negative? Like, were you able to see that firsthand, like how the community reacted to different businesses?
Not really. I wasn't too attentive to what was going on. I guess I was too hung up in what I was trying to do that I didn't pay attention to what else. So I can't say. I mean, as far as the business, as far as Allen Market, that's a known place that it dominated the business, I guess, in the marketing. But then there was 2 more markets on that same street, Brooklyn Market and Garrison Market. But Allen Market was the most established one, So, and there was a pool room was on that street. That was the hangout place for most of the men. It was at that time. I think it was just one, or maybe the only. It was 2 pool rooms, but that was the only one in that area.
Interesting.
And so that was a known spot that everybody, the men hung out, and 2 barbershops was on that street that was well known. And then, then it was a restaurant where the barbershop was at. It turned into a small bar for a while. Then it turned into Adam's Restaurant, and it was famous for home cooked meals. In fact, it's still continuing now, but not on McIntosh Street. One of the sons have the business going on now on Jefferson Street on the south side. It's called Country Cafe.
Oh, I've heard of it. Yeah, that's amazing.
But his father and one of his brothers started the business on McIntosh Street. It was called Adam's Restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main things I remember of that, what was going on in that street.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever shop at Allen's Market or one of the other markets on the street?
Oh, yeah, constantly. In fact, when I had ATs, I would go to the 3 market to buy stuff, because I had also sold, like I say, we sold sandwiches, and starting out we did home cooked meals, but then I cut that out and just did at night when we had entertainment going. We also had a mini kitchen that we did sandwiches and mainly sandwiches and pizzas. Mm-hmm. But most of my supplies I bought from Allen and Brooklyn and Garrison.
Yeah, that's amazing. What about those stores kept you going back? Was it just how close they were, or was it a community aspect of it as well?
You mean these stores on this street?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a closed community. Yeah, but most of them was, you got a lot of surrounding towns here like Spartas and different Hatter, and a lot of those stores was accommodating, people from those areas too, because there wasn't that many choices to buy groceries, especially one of the local markets like that. At that time, we had like Piggly Wiggly and a couple name markets, but most time when somebody looking for real fresh meat, and they would come to one of these type markets.
Oh wow!
So they was well known and well established. But Allen, like I say, it was the main one.
And did you see, like, I had heard someone had mentioned to me that Allen's Market at one point, people would like just go and hang out during the day when they were shopping, and they would just go and spend their afternoon there. Did you ever see like people hanging around Allen's Market or just being in the area?
Well, yeah, it being on that corner, there was a lot of people used to hang out on that corner because that's where, like, when the cabs would come to pick up people, and so I don't know about inside, but on the outside, yeah, they would hang out because it was on that main. That was called the Strip then. Well, a bunch of guys hung out on that street. So, and that corner were one of the main spots. So, in fact, it was a couple cab stands that was there, but I don't think they didn't have a building, but that this was their point of pickup and thing. Right there, and right by Allen Market, and it was a barbershop that called Young Barbershop.
Very cool.
Next to Allen Market, so it was one of the main hangout on that street.
That's so cool. And so, was AT's Lounge like towards the middle of the street, or where was it located?
Yes, in fact, it was almost. It was about 4 buildings down from Allen Market.
Okay,
so,
great.
Yeah, it was pretty much the middle of that block.
That's great. And what made you choose that building? Was there anything specific about it, or was it just open?
No, it wasn't planned. Let's say my uncle had a cafe there. And when I did a lot of making different decisions to do things, and so I was tired of traveling at the time. I had this idea to open up a lounge, and he had the lease on the building. He just let me take up the lease on it, and I continued.
That's amazing.
Serving food like he was doing, but also opened the lounge in the back. And so it wasn't nothing well planned. It was just one of those ideas that came to mind, and he helped me to carry it out. So
I love that. When I was talking with Christy, she was singing your praises and talking about how AT's Lounge was such a staple of the community at the time, and how it was a great place to, like, it brought everybody together, and especially with entertainment, it was just a place that people could come together and listen to music, and she really sang your praises. So I'm very thankful to get to talk to you.
Yeah, well, during that time, being a musician and knowing a lot of musicians, it gave me an opportunity to, I guess, draw attention to the music, because I played with several named artists that when people knew it, so by me having a location, they would come. And when they come, they would be entertained and satisfied. They'll tell someone else about it. And this was back in the time that integration was just being established. And so, and McIntosh Street was known as a strip where, in that time, there was a session where it's kind of limited who would come in that session. And by my having this lounge there and the music that was going on, it drew a crowd from the black and whites.
That's great.
And so that and it was I'm sure it was touchy at first because they wanted to be entertained, but they also knew where they had to come to be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
But when they experienced coming, they most of the people was satisfied, and the fear of coming on McIntyre Street was relieved because it was a safe environment to come. It was protection, and then all the love it just drew both black and whites.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I had musicians from that I played with, and like several of the Allman brothers we was playing, they would come on.
Wow.
And so that and because of that type of environment, then it just caused basically a lot of college group that came, and so the talk of the town was that AT was the place to hang out. So by the time they was satisfied, they would come back and bring somebody else, and that's how I got established.
That's amazing. Who is your favorite person that ever came and played at AT's Lounge with you?
Well, actually, they all were actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I made friends with a lot of experienced musicians. That was able to grow,
Mm-hmm.
And we had respect for one another. So I had high talented singers and musicians, and we were just real close. So it wasn't because I really had a favorite other than one guy, but he was the guy who pretty much taught me from the teenage up until I really started being on my own. So he was one of my best friends as first musician. But I had several musicians. Like one of my favorite musicians was J-Mo. He was a drummer with the Allman Brothers.
Mm.
And he would come to Milledgeville sometime and just hang out. We just be around each other, to encourage each other.
Mm-hmm.
He played drums also. We'd set up drums and just play. It wasn't a competitive thing. It was we both receiving from each other. So
wow,
so
that's
he was
amazing.
my favorite as far as musician.
Mm-hmm.
Just hanging out with and playing with.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed listening to you and hearing all about your time in Milledgeville and AT's Lounge. It's been really insightful. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I hope that I wish that I could share more, but like I said, as far as the other businesses, I didn't observe too much. It took me a while to remember all the names of the places.
No, I'm very thankful. This has been really insightful.
Well, let me share one more thing, though. See, one reason I have a problem with it, I don't have a record of anything I've done all my music life. that didn't mean that much to me at the time, and so I don't have any pictures or anything.
Wow.
What I've done. Somebody who not aware that I've done that, if it was told them, I wouldn't have nothing to prove that I've done all of those things, other than other people maybe having somebody will show a picture of something and you want this. But it never was on my mind, and I just loved playing at the time, so and my goal was to play with the best of the best.
And it sounds like you did.
By determination and sacrifice, I accomplished that.
That's amazing.
And when somebody see me and and bring back those memories. And we used to say, "Man, those were the good old days." and now I say those are the dumb old days. because all the decisions I made just to do what I wanted. But that guy, he's a merciful, patient, loving Father and Savior, and he gave me chance after chance after chance, and all through the prayers, years of prayers, caused me to surrender everything to him. Now he's working. I'm a work in progress, I hope.
That's amazing. And you said you do woodworking now, is that right?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do woodworking too.
How did you get?
I don't advertise that either.
How did you get?
Came about just that having sitting at home to take care of my mother and having nothing to do, so I just started doing a little hobby work.
Wow.
Somebody wanted a cabinet. I never really even observed cabinets that I went in the house and looked at this cabinet on my uncle had made, and so I went and bought me some plywood and copied that particular cabinet. And the lady, she liked what I built, and her neighbor saw it and said, "I want one just like that." And so that's what's still happening. People saying, "I want one just like that." And I never had no desire, no plan to have a business, in woodworking, but it just grew by me getting so involved in it. I still haven't yet learned how to say no when somebody says, "I want one just like that."
That sounds great. Yeah, Christy talks very highly about your woodworking as well. She's your biggest advocate for sure.
Well, she's a blessing. She and her husband, they moved here about over a year ago, about a year ago. They're quite a blessing to the church family, and very supportive, and thank God for her.
Yeah, she's amazing. I'm very thankful to know her. Well, thank you again so much. I've had a really great time talking with you.
We hope you enjoyed learning more about the people and historical events connected to Milledgeville and Flannery O'Connor in this episode. If you or someone you know has stories to share related to either of these topics, we'd love to hear them. In addition to documenting community memories, you'll also help us preserve your story for future generations. Visit our website, collectingthepastmilledgeville.wordpress.com, to learn more.